All right, this is King Bucho. We are live. This is a pre-Keith Thurman, Josesito Lopez, I guess pre-fight party, you could call it. Oh, we also have the Munguia fight on the zone. So, yeah, we're just gonna be talking boxing before the fights begin. We have Stu already on the line. What's up, Stu?
Yeah, what's happening, Butcho?
Not much, man. I already
Ho-
sent the invite,
Hopefully,
so
hopefully my internet won't give up. Like I said, I've got 30. I bought 30 meters of Ethernet cable today, so I've got into the box into the laptop, and so hopefully, um, I won't cut out. So
all right. Well, we'll see about that.
I'm not holding my breath.
Yeah. All right. So, what's up with Marcellus?
Well, I think I had a smile on my face when I saw the news come up. I mean, I think it justified my boxing clown edition when I said that this guy was confronting Tony Bellew, talking like he could beat Tony Bellew up, and he's fought nobody, and he's just got sparked out by a bum.
Yeah. I
So
mean,
you know, what do you like? I said, it's hard for me to really, you know, shed a tear for Marcellus because he's a piece of shit.
yeah.
So it was nice to see him on his arse, all in a daze. Let's just say that. But maybe he can start taking boxing a bit more serious. Keep away from the goons that he hangs about with. Stop attacking people's wives. Stop thinking you can beat cruiserweight champions of the world when you fought now, and get back to business. And you never know, he might be able to do something half decent with his career. But I don't think he's ever going to be his brother. Do you? That's for sure.
Oh, for sure. Would you call this karma?
Of course it's karma, mate. Of course it's karma. I mean, it's just happened a lot quicker than I thought it would. I thought they'd feed him enough cans to build him up, but they can't even feed this guy cans and get a win. I mean, it just shows you the levels we're talking about. This is what happens when you get family members living off, say, their
Mhm.
brother or their father's name. You know, they get opportunities that they don't deserve. And I mean, there was talk about Wilder being on the DeGal, Marcellus has been on the DeGal Eubank undercard. Heyman had already booked him on that, so I think that's out the window now. So,
Yeah. I mean, I don't understand why he had to behave that way he did. I mean, like, I don't know. It's his own fault. I mean, okay, he got knocked out. We wouldn't be caring if he wouldn't have been opening his mouth like he was.
like I said, I proved in that video I did of Marcellus Wilder that he was a gobshite. He was all talk. When the shit hit the fan, shall we say, he ran behind his brother and the big black security guard for safety.
Yeah.
And I think I proved that day in that video that he's a coward, and that's what a lot of everyone in life knows it's usually the loud ones that can't really fight.
Mm-hmm.
So I wasn't surprised. Like I said in the video, I proved that this guy wasn't really about the life he talks about. We can all be tough when we've got 15, 16 goons with us. We can all be tough then. But
Yeah.
in a boxing ring, you're on your own. There's nowhere to hide. It's just you and another man, and that's when we find out who the real men are. And
Yeah.
it's just embarrassing to think that this guy said he would knock Tony Bellew out. Can you imagine what Tony Bellew would do to Marcellus Wilder?
Yeah. No, fuck that, man. Uh, the thing is, he wasn't even, he was talking a lot, but there was no backup behind it. He hadn't done anything in boxing, so where was he getting all this confidence from? He was just delusional. But hey, Gonzalo, we can hear you. Are you there, man?
Yeah, what's up? How you guys doing? Mucho.
Pretty good, pretty good. Uh, so, well, do you see what happened to Marcellus? We're talking as if Marcellus Wanders was some kind of like elite boxer, man. But we just have to mention
Let's,
this.
let's be real. If he weren't such a gobshite, we wouldn't even be talking about him. So it's only because his mouth is the reason we're even talking about this fight. Because no one really cares otherwise, do they?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not a surprise.
When did he get knocked out?
That's not
Knocked
a.
out? Which round?
I just saw the picture you guys posted. I wasn't even aware
Yeah, me neither.
because they were gonna do it just like his brother. They were gonna keep him low key with these opponents, expecting him to win, I guess, and kind of like now they'll probably just sweep it under the rug and try to keep the charade going. But that's not gonna really end up well, anyways.
I mean, when you look at the guy's record, I think he was 6-12. I mean, how do you actually build Marcellus Wilder? I mean, you can't find. There's not many fighters out there that's going to be worse than the guy who's just got knocked out by. Really, when you look at his record, so it's just where does this guy go? I mean, it doesn't look good for his future.
Well,
Let's just say, like I said, Marquez lost his first fight. Like I said the other day, and look what he went on to become. But Marquez is a true fighter. Well, I don't think Marcellus Wilder is.
well, where does he go? Well, he wasn't anywhere to begin with,
Yeah. Hey, Bucho.
Yep.
Bucho.
Yeah.
I came across something. I recorded it for you guys to hear about world breaker boxing really fast. It's like
No,
20
don't play. No,
seconds.
no, don't play anything of that. They're fucking.
Okay.
They're fucking crazy. Like, I don't know.
Yeah,
They're just yeah, yeah. They're
Yeah,
just claiming Adrian Broner won. They're just claiming Adrian Broner won.
yeah, that was no.
This is where the credibility. As soon as you say that, all credibility you had, or even the little bit they did have, has completely gone. So they've just got no credibility anymore. So they're doing themselves harm by saying stuff like that, because anyone with two eyes could see that Pacquiao beat the shit out of Broner. But but they want that. That's not them talking from the heart. Like I told them when I was on this show, when you don't give the fans the truth, then you soon get found out, and that's what's happening with them too. I mean, it won't be. I mean, they'll still get their followers and subscribers because they feed to the narrative of their listeners. But let's be real, all credibility gone after that comment.
Yeah. There's a lot of videos about regular people, casuals, even women, posting on based on the comments that Broner made. They made a lot of videos on how stupid he was, and even they know that Broner won. Yeah, like you said, two people with two eyes. You don't have to know a lot about boxing to understand that the guy did not win. Yeah, but that's
Boxing,
enough of that.
boxing. Let's be real. A lot of people, a lot of boxing snobs, they try to make boxing sound a lot more difficult to understand than it really is. I mean, at the end of the day, it is just two guys punching each other. And yes, there's skills and there's techniques behind it. Of course, there is. These are world-class athletes. But at the end of the day, you don't really need to know a lot about boxing to see who's landing more punches. It's just like I said, if you've got eyes, you can usually work that one out for yourself. There's obviously the technical fights are hard to score, but that wasn't a hard fight to score. There was one guy just beating another guy up. I mean, if you can't see that, it's not exactly rocket science we're dealing with here. And it's just sad, really. It's sad that people have to scoop so low, that they would say Adrian Broner won that fight.
Yeah, I'm just in the chat here. Someone's complaining a lot about Kovalev being accused of beating a woman.
Well, like I said, Kovalev, if he did do that, then we have to be fair about it. We have to be fair about it because we sure give Floyd a shit when he beats his girlfriends up. So we have to, be the same with Kovalev. If he's done that, he's a piece of shit. But let's be real, Kovalev has lost the plot. Right, the drink's taken control. I know what drink does to people. I've seen it around me all my life with alcoholics that have let their life go to shit. And I honestly believe the drink has taken its toll on Kovalev. I think, I don't even think he's thinking straight. And for him to go and do that, there's no excuse for it.
Yeah, but is Kovalev in jail yet? Is he in jail?
No, I don't think he's in jail.
What the hell are we talking about here? Like, I don't know. It's like some people never complain about Floyd and about Stevenson being a pimp and actually having been arrested and all and convicted. But now some of these people are now obsessed about Kovalev, who hasn't even been on trial yet, and jumping to conclusions. So I think
like I said, that's why I said if he's done that. You know,
Yeah,
let's see the evidence first, because there's many a times where men have been accused by women of doing things and they're innocent. So let's not throw the man under the bus, because we know what women, how devious they can be, and the games they play. So let's see the evidence first, and if he does get convicted and the evidence is there, then we've got to hold our hands up and say he's a piece of shit. As
of
simple as
course,
that.
of course.
Keep it down the middle.
Yeah. But I understand why some people now are really vocal about Kovalev allegedly beating up a woman, and they never gave a shit about other boxers committing crimes and actually being arrested for him for those crimes.
According to some people, Kovalev's the match smelling of the new era, shall we say?
Oh,
They think he's a Nazi, don't they? So he can't do anything, can he?
yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
These people are very
He's
smart.
he's a guilty man. He's a guilty man before he's even gone to trial with certain people.
Yeah.
So let's just see what the evidence says. You know, there's a lot of men out there that are in prison for accusations by women. That's not true. So I'm not going to throw a man under the bus until I see the evidence.
Yeah, same here.
Apparently, this happened a while back ago. I don't know why always before a boxer gets ready to step into the ring, they always put out their legal issues on display. Well, their accusations to go to trial.
Yeah, I'm just in the chat here. It's pretty pathetic what's going on here.
Yeah, let's
Look
move
at
on.
it. Look at
Let's move on, because, like I said, I don't. This is a boxing channel, not a domestic violence channel. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, are you reading the comments, man?
What's happening? What's going on in the chat there?
Oh, because we have Lopez. I know BDA doesn't want me to mention Lopez because he's pathetic, but now he's saying, "Oh, Floyd never broke a neck." Like, okay, he did beat a woman, but he didn't break any necks. And then like Adonis was 19.
Oh, but this is the same. Like, this is the low place that said that the girls appreciated what Adonis did for them. You know,
Oh
so
man.
I'm paraphrasing here, but he was talking about the victims, that they relied on Adonis, and he did do some good things for them. I mean, what this guy done?
Hey, Lopez, was OJ Simpson guilty? Yes or no? Because I know where this is going. Seriously, this is ridiculous, man. Like we're talking about Kovalev. Hey, if he gets arrested, if he gets convicted, then of course he's a piece of shit. But I listen. There's been so many accusations lately about men doing this to women and stuff, and all these women coming out. So I don't know anymore. I kind of wait and see if he's
Look at
guilty.
Trump, man. Trump's got a fucking sex case on every week. He's got a different one on. So, you know,
Yeah,
let's
So
no,
they
let's
say he broke a. So they say he broke a girl's nose. I honestly think if Kovalev were to punch a woman, he'd probably kill her. That's just the truth.
well, apparently put it in a neck brace. But I read somewhere else that he punched her, so I don't know what the story is anymore.
I mean,
yeah.
a guy like him, a light heavyweight, with that kind of power hitting a woman, you'd probably kill her.
But
Yeah,
I do see a problem with Kovalev. I think he's fighting demons at the moment,
yeah, I think he's insane.
and I think that's why he's not the fighter he used to be. I got a lot of stick on this show when I said Kovalev's not the fighter, but it's been proven he's not. And I saw it from the start. I just thought that Andre Ward saga took a lot out of him, and I think that he probably hit the bottle after that. And once you hit the bottle, there's no turning back. And I think he's fighting demons. So I'm not even sure he can win this rematch. I mean, he's got a good chance. At his best, he destroys Alvarez, but I just don't think he's at his best. And I wouldn't be surprised if he loses in that one as well.
Yeah. We have official boxing scorecard. What's up, man?
Yeah, man, I'm good. How are you?
Pretty good, pretty good. Yeah, just talking like I don't know if you can hear listening, but yeah,
Yeah.
Kovalev. I don't know. Can we switch? Can we change the subject? This is going anywhere. I don't know what the fuck the problem is with Lopez trying to like
So,
the competition between who did the worst crime and by the way, Kovalev again innocent until proven guilty. But anyways, go ahead.
When did Lopez become the spokesman for women's rights? I mean, fuck me.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess when Kovalev is being accused of a crime, now he's very vocal for some reason. I don't know. Some agenda there,
Yeah.
but anyways.
Let's get back onto Marcellus Wilder.
Well, what about
I mean,
Mars?
it's
I don't give a
definitely.
shit. I'm not gonna see her.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely. I definitely want to catch up. I've seen a, like I said, I've seen a picture of him on the floor, sparked out, but I haven't actually seen the footage yet. But I will be checking that out later.
Yeah, that's what I saw as well. I didn't see the fight. I didn't even know he was fighting. So right now it's 7 p.m. Well, almost around 7:03 p.m. in the East Coast over here. So in 1 hour we're gonna have the fights on Fox, and I believe on the Zone it already started. No, let's see. Hey, in the chat, how many fights are we? What's the undercard for the Josesito Lopez Thurman fight? I know Gerald Washington is fighting, but
Is Jaime Munguia on that card? I think.
no, Munguia is on another card. He's on.
Oh, he's on another card, is he?
Yeah, he's fighting on the Zone. That's, I guess, it's a Golden Boy card. I'm assuming,
Yeah, it would be. It would be
and
definitely.
and that already started, by the way, guys. Started at 7 p.m. So yeah, BDA is in the chat. What's he saying? Let's see. He's saying that I don't know what he's saying. I think he's saying that Kovalev's crazy. So how long before you forgive Kovalev like you forgave Stevenson? BDA asks. Well, the thing is, BDA, that Lopez is claiming that Stevenson was 19, so I guess you have to forgive Adonis Stevenson. Does that even make sense?
But how do you see that fight plays out against Alvarez, the rematch?
Uh,
Yeah,
doesn't look good now, huh? Chances for
yeah.
Kovalev don't look
No,
good.
I think he
because
has a chance.
they
I think he has a chance. It's just how is he outside the ring? I'm
Yeah,
not sure this guy lives the life. He doesn't.
you know what I found interesting, that in fact, I really liked what he did with his now ex-Russian trainer, because in the previous two fights against Mikhalkin and Shabransky, he was looking pretty sharp, you know, and he started to counter with combinations, and it was looking pretty good. He was doing some new things, but when rewatching the Alvarez fight, he was so slow, so sluggish in the ring, and so if he's the same way in the rematch, I think he's going to lose. It depends on which Kovalev we are going to see.
Well, I don't know. Is Kovalev all right in the head there? If he actually, maybe if he committed this crime, then obviously he's not mentally stable, and I don't know if he can, because I don't know how you guys was. Did you see? So in my opinion, Kovalev was doing pretty good against Alvarez, but then he faded like he usually does, and well, he got knocked the fuck out. So maybe mentally he's not over there, man.
Well, the first time when I was watching the fight, I thought that I had Kovalev winning 5 rounds to 1. After rewatching it today, I had it 4-2 for Kovalev. But the difference is that I saw Alvarez outboxing him for the first 2 rounds, up till the moment he got hurt by Kovalev's punches, and then from the third round on, Alvarez started covering too much, and that's how Kovalev was able to outwork him since the third round on. But before that, he was looking very slow, very sluggish. Alvarez is he was countering him with the jab really easily. So that's what I'm worried about.
Prime Kovalev was very accurate with his punches, and the technique of him. He had a lot of snap in the shots, and that's why he was putting people away. He was hurting people. This
Yeah,
Kovalev, He's sluggish, like official boxing card said. Very sluggish. His timing's off. He's become very predictable as well. I don't think he's half the fighter he used to be. When he smashed Nathan Cleverly up in the UK, that was the era when he started becoming in his prime. He was unbeatable at that time. Real. I mean, if he was still that good, he'd beat all these guys. But for me, he's just lost. I think the Andre Ward thing just took a lot out of him mentally, and I should think the drinking afterwards took it out of him physically, because he's just not the same man.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, go on, man.
No, it's just the like Stu was saying, the mystique is gone. He's already been defeated a couple times, and his opponents now sense the blood. He's there for the taking, and this guy in particular has already defeated him by knockout once, so he knows that he can do it again. Obviously, Kovalev's a hard puncher. He's a good fighter, and so he's gonna put up some resistance. If Alvarez can get over that hump, and bring the fight to him, he'll defeat him again. But all depends on Kovalev. Kovalev shows up, like you guys said.
Kovalev's gonna have to get him out of there quite early to win that fight, because the longer it goes, the more I favour Alvarez. The fitness will come in. Kovalev will start to slow down badly. The work rate will basically be non-existent because he just doesn't look like he could go 12 rounds at a decent pace anymore. So I think he's in big trouble if he can't get Alvarez out there in the first
Yeah,
six.
and Stu, for the third round on of a couple of the last fights, since Ward, from the third round on, his footwork doesn't exist anymore. He forgets, he begins to stay too much in the range, forgets to get out, and it was really unbelievable rewatching today the fight. How slow he was, man! It was crazy.
Exactly, brother. I mean, and he's very, very good at range, Kovalev. That's where he's most dangerous. The
Yeah, that
straight
was his
punch,
bread and butter.
straight punches. That right hand, that straight right down the pipe, man, was a lethal weapon. But like you said, now he's hanging around in the pocket too long. He's getting caught, and he's just looking sloppy. He's looking slow. He's second to the punch half the time. Before he had a lot of snap, and he was quite quick with the shots, and he was getting there first. But he's just not the fighter he was. And I said it ages ago. I said it like before he lost to Alvarez. I said this guy is on the slide, and people saying, "Ah, the fuck can you say that?" But I could see it.
Well, we could see it even before Ward against that guy in Russia that he fought. Oh, Chilemba, yeah. I mean, Chilemba was a tough guy, but you could easily see he was guessing for the first time since he was on HBO. And then after watching the Chilemba fight, I thought for myself like, man, what if in fact the reason he went 12 rounds with Hopkins was not because he was carrying him, but because he guessed also in that fight.
Yeah, it's a shame really, because there's some. I mean, Kovalev. I mean, he was at a stage where when he was at his best, he had Stevenson that was ducking him. I don't care what low place in the chat says. He'll say it's the other way around. Adonis Stevenson jumped ship to go to Showtime to duck that fight. So he ducked him, and then no one was really. Andre Ward was the only one that stepped up, really. So he didn't have really many options. But now, I mean, if he could just kept fit and kept dedicated, look at the fights he's got. He's got Bivol there to fight. He's got a Beterbiev. You know, there's obviously the Alvarez fight again, and there's a lot of options for him now. I mean, there's Voznik. There's some great fights for him, but he didn't have that when he was in his prime. We had Stevenson ducking him, and no one else was really, and there weren't much talent there, to be honest with you. But so it's a bit of
That
a shame, really,
division is
because we could.
stacked now.
He's stacked now, but it wasn't when Kovalev was at his best, unfortunately.
Yeah, yeah, that division has a lot of good fighters. All of a sudden, you know what? All these divisions have have more fighters. Now they seem like they're pretty stacked now, from the super middles, from the middles all the way to the heavyweights, even super middleweights, light heavyweights, cruiserweights, heavyweights. It's a good time in boxing.
Yeah. But I think Beterbiev's another one. He needs to get a move along now. It's been a while. I mean, this guy, he seems to have been around forever, but he's probably had how many fights? He had about 12 fights or something. I don't know. But he needs to get a move on. I mean, his last fight, he fought Callum Johnson, who is actually ranked sixth of in the light heavyweight division of British fighters. Not even the world rankings. He's number 6 in the British rankings, Callum Johnson, and this guy dropped him. So that don't look good. So he needs to start getting in some big fights. Because I'm getting a bit sick of people telling me. I mean, I give this guy a lot of credit because I think he's strong and I think he's a danger man. But there's nothing on the resume to tell me how good this guy is because he hasn't fought anyone in ages. So he needs to get a move along. And Bivol, like he didn't look too great in his last fight. So these guys they're there for the taking. Do you know what I mean? Some of these guys are there for the taking, but you know.
Who do you have as your best light heavyweight, Stu?
I'm going to say Vosnik probably at the moment, skills wise. But Bivol looks strong and dangerous. I just weren't impressed with Bivol in his last fight. I thought it was an average performance. Alvarez is obviously dangerous. Strong guy. He's dangerous. I don't think he's what I've seen so far. I'll probably go for Vosnik number 1. It's hard. Number 2 is hard, man. I'm not sure. It's the rest
How
are
about Marcus
about the
Brown?
same. Well, I don't really, we don't really know a lot about Marcus Brown. I mean, he beat the draw specialist in Badu Jack. I mean, Badu Jack is the sort of guy that would win the lottery and then lose the ticket. Do you know what I mean? So he's
Yeah, he was
a tough
already
fighter.
old.
He's a good fighter, Badu Jack. But how many fights did he throw away? Where he just didn't do enough. He's always drawing fights. So I don't think it's a good win, but it's not a great win for me. So
Yeah,
we'll
yeah,
have to see. Brown's new to me. I've not seen a lot of him.
yeah, I agree. I mean, if you saw, I think you guys saw the fight between Brown and Kalajic. He got robbed, but then this fight against Jack, he surprised me honestly. I mean, I never respected a lot Brown in a sense that I always thought he was kind of overrated, but. The thing is, I think that he has a great corner, and I think that Rosier, Jacob's coach, is a really good trainer and knows what he's doing with his guys, and he's also Brown's coach. And I think he was the one who gave him the right game plan because I don't estimate too highly Brown, as I said, skill wise, but he had the right game plan to use his athleticism and knowing that Badu Jack is not really fast on his feet, is slow. He did exactly what he was supposed to do, and from that standpoint, it was a good performance. But yeah, to me, you know what? My favorite light heavyweight was judging by their best performances is probably Bivol, but as Stu said, those last 2 fights kind of worried me because I mean. I think he was able to get them out, but he was just happy with cruising to the UD.
Yeah,
Eric, you recognize Airman?
Bivol.
Yeah, I'm right here.
All right. I just got back, so I don't know. By the way,
Bivol's a
people are
good
asking for
fighter.
Cameron. If you're asking for the link, it's in the group chat, man.
Yeah.
Bivol's a good fighter, and to me he's difficult because he's very technically sound, and he does the same things that work repetitively, and he only commits, in order to get through a fight. as much as he needs to, as much as needs, he only commit and fight in a way that he can win the fight. You know, he's not gonna go in there and get sloppy and take risks if he don't need to. So that can make for a boring fighter at times, but he can keep doing that over and over again, and he's got the conditioning, you know, to do that and win fights. To me, that's why he's a difficult fighter. He doesn't get impatient. Has a lot of patience.
Yeah, that's true. It makes sense. Well, he's a well-rounded fighter. While Gvozdyk, what impresses me the most with him, as I told you one time, guys, it's not just his hand speed, but his hand speed combined with his foot movement. Because I've never seen I haven't seen in a long time a fighter with that combination of feet and hands that fast and that
Who are we
balance.
talking about? Who are we talking about now? I'm drifting off. Who are we talking about?
While
Bivol.
the yeah,
Vosdick, excuse me.
Gvozdyk.
Oh, what was it? Yeah.
Yeah, to me, you know, I still when it comes to who's the best light heavyweight, I mean, I guess if you want to go by recent, I guess just by like recent accomplishment, I'll probably put Vosdick there. But I'm still not sold when it comes to, you know, who's clearly the best, Vosdick, Bivol, or I'll still throw in Beterbiev, even though he's just not getting fights, man. And I think did he get knocked down by Callum Johnson? Didn't Callum Johnson knock him down?
Yeah, and I was just saying, recognise Callum Johnson is ranked. I think I was seeing some of the rankings the other day. He's ranked 6th in the light heavyweight division in the UK,
In the
not
UK.
the world. The
Right,
UK.
right. Yeah, that's not
So
good.
this is the level. And he's probably he's behind Anthony Yard in the rankings. I think.
God damn.
Surely.
Yeah. I mean, Yard is about to
this
have
is-
a good fight, but isn't he scheduled to fight? I forgot who the hell.
I mean, Frank Warren's trying to. He's trying to sell it at that. You know, this guy went 12 rounds with Vosdick. You know, at the end of the day,
Oh, I know you're talking about.
just because you can't sell a fight because stars make fights. One guy might go 12 rounds with Vosdick, yeah, and another guy might go around with him, but the guy that went around with him could beat the guy that went with 12 with him, sort of thing. Do you know what I mean? It's just stars make fights, and I think Frank Warren's trying to sell a fucking dead horse here, sort of thing. Do you know what I mean? With that fight. I mean, did you go on IFL TV, right? Anthony Yard did a video, an interview. Go and look at the likes and the dislikes. When I looked at it, he had 102, I think, likes and 966 dislikes, right? Anthony Yard is slowly becoming the most disliked boxer in the UK.
Yeah, he needs to step it up, man. Competition is.
No, I don't think he's that bad of a guy. I don't see anything where I think what a piece of shit he is. He's an arrogant piece of shit. He loves himself, that's for sure. You know for the fact when he sees a mirror, he's going to glance at it when he's going by. But for some reason, the UK just do not like this guy.
It's because he comes out and talks shit about how he's this and that, and he's for absolute garbage, and he can't back it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still, you know, I think there's the light heavyweight division. There's still some fights that could clear up. You know, who's the best. I know politics, you know, tend to play and get in the way or whatever. But there's fights that could be made. Like, I believe you could make Vosdick versus Beterbiev. That fight could happen. I would love to see it happen. I mean, I don't know what.
Who's the hardest puncher?
Might be Beterbiev.
Beterbiev.
Did you see Marcelo's Wilder get knocked out? Oh,
yeah.
shit.
Precise is asking Stu if he's happy about it, and we did talk about it, and yeah, Stu's very happy.
Well, like I said earlier, in the video, I exposed Wilder for the man he is. He's a gobshite. He's very loud when he's got 15, 16 goons and his brother, the heavyweight champion, behind him. But when shit hits the fan, as you see in that weigh-in, you know, as soon as someone put it on him, he was hiding behind Wilder and the big black security guard. So he told us in that clip what he's really about. This is a guy that, like I said, confronted Tony Bellew and said he would spark him out. And yet he's just gone and got knocked out by some bum. That's 6-12. Like I said, mate, he's not about that life. So yeah, I'm a very happy man right now.
Wasn't he responsible for attacking Dominic Brazil?
Yeah,
He was the
He was the
ringleader.
instigator. He was the whole thing started with him. I think he was talking shit to Dominic Brazil. Or they were going back. I don't know who started, right? I wasn't there, but apparently it was between them. He said something to Marcellus Wilder, who went back to his big bro, and that's when they followed, or they went to confront Brazil at basically follow him to his hotel. Yeah, I just thought it was nice that he got knocked out. I mean, maybe that's a.
I didn't realize he was fighting last night.
Hey, Cameron, what was that Lopez telling you in the chat, saying that you should talk about or don't evade the Vosdik not fighting Beterbiev, I think that was he was talking about.
Let's be real. When there's usually two brothers fighting, there's usually one world-class one and the other one's a bum. Look at Canelo's brother. Do you know what I mean? It's amazing they come from the same female.
Yeah, but Canelo's brothers are better in comparison to Marcelo's. He's much better.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. He got beat up by a shot Brandon Rios in his last fight.
Yeah, but my point was recognise. Look at the
right. I got you. The class difference.
You know, they're the same genes that come from the same people. Yeah.
Wasn't that Marcellus Wilder's fourth fight or something?
I think it was his second or third.
There you go.
But as you can see by Canelo's brothers too, he got the daylight speed out of him twice, but they couldn't put him out. They couldn't knock him down. They put him out on his feet. He's a tough dude with limited boxing.
He's got that Alvarez chin, isn't he? You know, he's got the same genes as he's got that Alvarez chin. He just doesn't have nowhere near the talent, and you'll find that a lot of the cases when there's. But mind you, I think the Durrell brothers were similar in talent. I mean, but one had a heart and the other one didn't. I think when they was in the womb, I think Anthony took Andre's heart as well. I think he's walking around with two hearts.
Yeah.
No, they're not twins. Actually, they're not twins. The Durrells are not twins, are they? No, they're not.
Jermel, no, the Durrell. Well, it's like me and my brother. We're twins, and I was a little more technical than he was. When we not, I heard you had twin sons.
Yeah, I've got twin boys.
Brother.
Yeah, I've got twin boys. 15
I'm fraternal,
months now.
Not identical.
But one of my twins is a monster. He's a real big lad, and the other one, he's really tiny. It's weird. I mean, they don't look like brothers. It's just like weird. One's real big and strong, and the other one's quite timid and tiny, sort of thing.
Identical.
No, they're different. They're not identical. No. Well, they're definitely not. I mean, like I said, one's a monster,
there's a
and the other
difference.
one's just.
I know what we're talking about, but there's a difference because when they're identical, they're born in the same womb, the same bag in the stomach. When they're fraternal, they're in separate bags.
That's right.
I can't remember the word.
They have different wombs, don't they?
There's different compartments.
I want to say that low place in the chat in Simon Boot Show. This guy, I just want to say, like, because he's actually in the chat this time. He said he was going to ostracize himself from his podcast, and he's still in the chat every show.
The thing is, though, Cameron, like I said, if he's going to talk boxing, then we'll give him the benefit of the day. He can stay in the chat. It's when he just starts abusing everyone that has a different opinion than him and gets out of hand. That's when he goes. But if he's going to keep it boxing, then he can stay there. Do you know what I mean? I don't give a fuck, to be honest with you, but I can't be done with his bullshit when he starts attacking everyone that don't agree with him.
What are you guys talking about, Lopez?
Yeah,
and it's especially hard, I believe, if you don't have the mentality to become a good fighter, to train like Marcellus Wilder. When he has a brother that has no boxing skills, but he gets these knockouts, and then you're his little brother and you want to be famous like your brother, and you go in there and you forget about the boxing, which you already don't have to begin with, you know.
Yep.
And then you go in there trying to knock out. Yeah, well, he's trying to copy his brother, or like
he's trying to be like his brother,
with him, you know.
and you can
Yeah.
already see that he doesn't even have the power that his brother has. So at least with Wilder, Wilder's become a kind of like a political machine, and on top of that, at least he got power. He's got some power to bail him out of this. All his deficiencies that he has
Yeah.
when it comes to boxing.
So
Yo, what's good, boys?
What's
yeah,
up,
what's
man?
up, Johnny? Even
Hey,
if you put him up against Cans, even if you put him up against Cans, he's probably thinking to himself, "Well, this guy has
Hang on
no
a sec.
skills,
Hang on
and
a second,
I'm
Gonzalo.
just gonna take." Yeah.
Gonzalo, hang on a sec. You can get back on. Johnny, can we ask you to mute when you're not speaking, brother? Because we've got some strange noises coming from your mic, and it's hard to hear what.
Oh, let me grab my new earbuds. My bad, brother. All right, yeah.
Still try and mute yourself if you're not talking, all of you, please.
Yeah, no.
Go on, Gonzalo.
I apologize, bro. Salute. Yeah.
No, you're cool, bro. I just thought I'd warn you first because there was a squealy noise, screeching noise coming from your headset.
It's in other words, there's for every fighter there's a development process. You know, there's a development process in order to learn, to get better, to actually get better. But if like Marcellus Wilder, you put him in there, and he's in his mind, he's expecting to get a highlight reel knockout. You know, oh, I'm Dante Wilder's brother. I just scored a knockdown. My brother's famous. I'm gonna become famous too. But do you go in there disregarding that there's another live body in there with you, even though he's a can? This guy's thinking, Wilder, I'm just gonna go in there and knock him out. Well, what does he do? He totally disregards his defense, goes in there and trades, and what? He gets knocked out. So that's no surprise, because this is
Yeah,
boxing, and they're just going in there and just making a circus.
maybe this guy is not even a fighter. Maybe this guy's just trying to sort of like live off his brother a little bit, just because he see what his brother's done through boxing. He's say what you like about Wilder. People say he don't make a lot of money, but when you see his house and everything else he's got, he makes enough. Let's just say that. And he's probably saw what his brother's made and thought, I'm going to give this a go. My guess is he's not really a fighter. Yes, he looks in good shape. He's obviously a fit guy, and he's toned and ripped. But I don't mean nothing in the boxing ring. I don't know if this guy's a fighter, because let's be real, Deontay's not a natural fighter. He's actually, he's learning on the job, and we see that every time he fights with his technique. So he's just, but he's got power. That's the difference. And I don't even think Marcellus has got that.
Yeah, I don't know what kind of gyms, what kind of boxing school they have in Alabama. I know he trains with Mark Breland. He's a renowned ex-fighter. I don't know how many other fighters he has, but I'm just curious to know what kind of sparring he gets there. Because there's pockets, and this is true. There's pockets in the nation. There's places where you train
If I had
where
to bet
you can actually, yeah.
If I had to
Go
bet,
ahead.
Alabama has guys with better boxing. That have come out of Alabama. They have better boxing skills than Wilder. The Wilder brothers. It's just that they don't have. Maybe they don't have the power. Maybe they just have the political machine behind them to push them. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
I'm not gonna.
Isn't Joe Louis from Alabama? Joe Louis?
I don't even know, but I'm not gonna blame Wilder on. I'm not gonna blame Alabama on Wilder. They got some great athletes over there. Boxing, I'm not too familiar with them, but I'm sure they know how to. At least they know the basics.
Yeah, what's up, everybody? I'm not making no static, am I? No.
No, you're better now.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You're good. You're good, Johnny.
So I take it you heard the news then, bro, about Deontay's brother being sparked out.
No, what happened, bro? You got knocked out.
Did you see the Clown Edition video I did about him, Marcellus Wilder, when I predicted that this could happen, and he went away, just got knocked out a few hours ago, I think it was. I'm not sure. It might have been last night, a few hours ago. I'm not sure. I didn't even know. I just got sent a picture of him sleeping on the couch.
Yeah, it was a few hours ago.
No
yeah, I said.
No shit. I was just watching the prelims with my pops, though. Dog, we was watching the Thurman and Lopez prelims. And fucking yeah, I didn't hear nothing about that. That's crazy though. Yeah.
But yeah, we've got let's move away from Marcellus because we've got some fights on tonight. A fight that I'm not too excited about, to be honest. I wasn't in no rush to bring this topic up, but I suppose it's fight night and we have to talk about it. The return of Keith Thurman. So what Keith Thurman are we going to get, guys? Are we going to get the explosive one-time Thurman? Or are we going to get runtime Thurman?
I'm curious. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, brother. My bad.
Go on, guys. Go on. Go on.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, yeah, I'm curious to see what he looks like myself, bro. Thurman.
Yeah.
After that long layoff and all that, you know.
Yeah. I just hope he comes back. Like the Keith Thurman that I really enjoyed watching when he first came on the scene. You know, that explosive
he
Keith
looked a little soft.
Yeah, he did.
He looked a little soft. You know what? I kind of like Keith Thurman. He's a good fighter, and as a person, he's entertaining. You know, his personality, if I can say it real fast, real quick, is like he honestly seems to me like he's kind of crazy. You know, like a Muhammad Ali kind of crazy. He's entertaining. Whatever comes out of his mouth is brash, but in comparison to Broner and some other guys, he's just the way he is. You know, he's outspoken, but he's just naturally that. He's funny.
Yeah, there's a difference. There's a difference between him and Broner. I mean, Keith Thurman is actually intelligent. Broner's as dumb as a box of rocks, you know. So there's
yes, yeah. Like Muhammad Ali, he was very intelligent too. He was crazy. He was just naturally a crazy man. And you know, Keith Thurman just he resembles that to me a little bit. You know, he's kind of crazy out there, but in an intelligent way.
To be a good trash talker, you have to be an intelligent man because you have to be witty. You have to know, you know, you got to do your research. You got to know what you're talking about. When you got a guy just rambling on, trying to be, you know,
exactly
the bad guy, but it's just not working. You know?
When
it gets cringy, you know, and when it's forced and it looks cringy. People see through that straight away, and where Ali did it, the way he did it was the reason why everyone liked, because he was an intelligent man. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And when intelligent men are doing it, you can listen to them and take you know, enjoy what they say. But when you got a rambling fucking moron just go chatting a load of bollocks.
Exactly. Oh yeah. You know what, Thurman is one of those guys who he's not vulgar. And he's not a, you know, he's just not a classless piece of shit like Broner, but he does talk a bit of smack, don't he? And he, you know, but he, for the most part, he backs it up a little bit. He can box. He's got good footwork and decent power and this, that, and the third, you know. So he, you know, it is.
But it
is.
Thurman was. Yeah. He was born in the wrong era for me. Thurman should have been born, you know, he should have been around in the 60s. That's he just comes across as one of them hippies to me that smokes weed and listens to John Lennon and, you know, and burns fucking, what the Josh sticks, whatever they're called. And yeah, he just seems that sort of character. But I do enjoy listening to Thurman. He's like a bit of a philosopher, old Thurman.
Yeah. He's original.
Deep. He's got to enjoy listening.
He's got the Janis Joplin soundtrack in the CD play.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I actually like Janis Joplin myself. So
I do too. My mother used to listen to that, brother. Yeah.
And if you guys notice, he gives credit. He gives credit to everybody. He gives credit to Lomachenko. He gives credit to fighters when he talks about them. He gives credit to them. He doesn't say this guy's he sucks, you know. He actually gives credit to people.
Yeah, he doesn't call people a bum, and he's not disrespecting nobody. Right.
It would have been nicer for someone a bit better than Josesito Lopez. It's just give us something to get excited for the return of Keith Thurman. And it just, I mean, look at Fury. I mean, he returns and goes straight in the deep end against Wilder in America. I mean, don't get no better than that. So, but Thurman's coming back and he's fighting Josesito Lopez, a man that was finished 6 or 7 years ago. Well, so I don't know what Lopez I don't know what Lopez we're going to get. I mean, he's going to come in the ring like fucking Chavez Senior, man. You can bet your life where he's going to get. Oh, man. Not looking forward to this fight.
You know what, brother? At least it's a hell of a lot better than Rigondeaux's comeback fight. The man Rigondeaux fought against on the prelims last weekend or the week before or whatever the hell it was.
That man was like 18-9.
Yeah, he was freaking. Yeah, he was fucking.
That'd be good if he was a pitcher at baseball. You know, if he was like 18-9. Yeah, you'd be like, oh, he's pretty good, this guy. Yeah, but not when you're a boxer.
The man was 16-8, and he was 1-6 in his last 7 fights. For Christ's sake.
Yeah, he's terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, Rigo. I always said it. I always thought Rigo was overrated. Always.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, real fast, not to interrupt nobody. What's going on? Recognize, dog. It's been a long overdue. I got a bunch of big Tito Trinidad family over here. Bro.
Oh yeah, man. That's one of my favorite fighters of all time, bro.
Yeah. No, my old man was married to a Puerto Rican chick before he met my mother, and his 2 brothers are all married. So I got
she
a bunch
was crazy,
of
right?
Yeah, I got a bunch of half I got a bunch of half Italian, half Puerto Rican family.
Oh
cousins
yeah.
And shit. So
I got family like that too. I got family on my definitely on my mother's side where you know there's some. I got Puerto Rican and Italian cousins.
Yeah, no. I just wanted to say hello, brother. How you doing?
Definitely, bro, man. I like your channel too, man. Keep doing the good work, bro.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it, brother. Yeah, I talk some shit, but but
it's all good.
Yeah, all right. I appreciate
everybody
it.
got their own style, right?
Yeah, I feel you. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it, man. So anyway, Spider, give me another drink, would you?
Spider, go get me another drink.
Yeah.
Whoa. What am I, Mirage?
I think the silence there just tells its story in this Keith Thurman fight. I mean, I don't think anyone is
Keith Thurman,
too enthusiastic.
Aren't we?
I want to see him back.
Right. We just want to see what he can do. What he can.
Yeah.
Right. If he's still the Keith Thurman or even close to it, he should pretty easily beat Lopez, and then I want to see what he does in the next fight. I want to see him up against a better competition. I was listening to you guys talk about him, Keith Thurman, and some of the things that how he articulates himself, and I do agree that he does articulate himself pretty good, especially compared to his stablemates and whatnot, right? Or just boxing in general. But right. I think he plays it safe even when talking, right? Like look, man, those guys don't like you on the PBC. You still showing them respect. Stop it. Like they don't like you. Okay, just say, look, when they ask you, what do you think about Broner versus Pacquiao? Be honest. Be like, look, man. Even if you thought that Broner could win, be like, look, I think Broner's too stupid, but he could win if he was smart. Like the guy doesn't like you. They diss you all the time. You might as well throw little insults back. That's the only thing that's lacking about Keith Thurman.
Yeah. Hey, but recognize. Sorry for cutting you off, but he just did exactly that. I mean, he wanted Broner to win, but he said after the fight, when they asked him what he thought about the fight, he said something like Adrian Broner stands for about. I don't know what, but like he used the word bullshit or something.
Yeah, all about bullshit.
Well, yeah. Can I say something real quick?
Sure.
No. I was just gonna say. I remember we was talking last time, and Gonzalo brought this up. He say, just like we saw with the Charlos last time. You think you're getting put in there with some soft touches, and it turns out to be the fight of your life. You know what I mean? So hopefully, Josesito can come through and make it an interesting fight. That's all I was gonna say. You know what I'm saying? So you think you're getting put in there with a soft touch, and and it turns out to be tough fight for you.
It's a tricky fight because you never know, right? Like maybe, Lopez is still a boxer. Maybe he smells blood. He smells blood. He's like, I'm gonna give this boy everything I can. Even if I have to die in this ring tonight, I'm gonna do everything I can. And maybe Thurman's just not ready for that. You know, you never know. Or he's not ready, but it's still his not ready is still good enough to beat Lopez. Yeah. So it's a tricky fight.
Yeah, word up, bro.
Yeah. One thing I've noticed about Keith Thurman, he hates pressure. He panics, and I think when Collazo put it on him, he felt pieces, sort of thing at times. And I think he did the same with Porter. I had him winning the Porter fight, but I think he struggled to get his shots off that night because Porter was just swarming him, and Porter's a very hard start. Porter's a very hard fight for anyone because he just doesn't make. No one looks good against Porter, so I'm not blaming him for that. But you know, I think pressure is his kryptonite sort of thing. If you set in the back foot and let Thurman fight at his own pace, he'll take you to pieces. He'll tear you to pieces. But I think when you start sticking it on Thurman, getting in his face and roughing him up, I don't know if he wants it too much.
Collazo, like I told you last time, bro. Collazo reminds me of one of them crazy fucking Latin King motherfuckers I used to ride the train with in Chicago, bro. You know, so.
Oh yeah, Collazo. That's right. Collazo is from Chicago. I always thought he was from New York for some reason, but he's from Chi-Town.
Oh, I thought he was from. See, I didn't even know he was from Chi-Town, bro.
When you said Chicago, I thought you meant him. I thought you meant Collazo. He might be because he looks. I've heard him talk before, and he sounds like he's from New York. I heard about him training in the gyms out in New York. So.
He looked like one of them crazy Latin Kings and shit.
No, that's exactly well, I don't know if we could say that's exactly who he's down with.
No,
I think I had Collazo beating Ricky Hatton. I did.
Yeah, me too. I thought Collazo beat Ricky Hatton. I thought Collazo was about to defeat Keith Thurman. I thought he was about to. Whatever happened in that corner that made them stop the fight and the referee called it a TKO. I don't know what the fuck that was about, but he had Keith Thurman running for his life, bro.
Yeah,
Thurman
he did.
Thurman was in trouble.
It just shows your stars make fights. Because look at he gave Keith Thurman hell, but Amir Khan made easy work of the guy. Do you know what I mean? And I think I'd be picking Thurman to beat Amir Khan if them two fought. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I'd be picking Keith Thurman in that one.
Bro, who do y'all like with that Crawford Amir Khan fight, man? Because I think
Crawford stops. He stops Amir Khan.
Yeah, I got him too. I got him stopping him somewhere in the mid to early rounds.
Yeah,
you know. I think he's gonna. I think you're gonna see moments where he's outboxing Crawford. I really believe you're gonna see that.
Yeah,
I just think that his chin is gonna betray him. That's all.
That's exactly what I'm saying, bro. I think he's gonna have his moments where he's gonna have his moments where he's touching Crawford up, but eventually he's gonna get caught with a counter shot.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah,
I mean,
because he the fights he's lost, he win all of, if not.
You're cutting off, bro. We can't hear you.
Yeah, I was
cutting
gonna
off.
say I can't hear that.
Yeah, I mean, I think.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, go on, bro.
Yeah, be
Can
good.
you hear
bro.
me?
Go on.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Gonzalo.
Just go ahead. Just
all right.
Yeah, just go ahead because I'm not coming in clear.
I was just saying.
It's
Terence
okay.
Crawford fights.
No, I was just saying that even the fights that he lost.
Hold on, Gonzalo.
He was winning most of them. Okay, it's okay.
Gonzalo, you said you told us to carry on, and then when someone carries on, you start talking.
Yeah. Well, I'm just cutting off. Anyways, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say I think Terence Crawford's just far too busy, throws far too many punches, far too accurate, far too quick for Amir Khan. Khan's going to get rocked to his boots as soon as they start trading. Khan's going to get rocked to his boots, and it could be over quite quickly. That's to me. I think I think 3 or 4 rounds that fight, because Khan's very vulnerable. I mean, he's getting hurt by guys with like 40% KO ratios and stuff like that. You know, he's not like Willie Limond, I believe. I mean, he had 4 KOs in about 32 fights at the time, and he He had Amir Khan all over the fucking place. So this guy is vulnerable. Terence Crawford, he's not a massive puncher. Well, he's no Errol Spence, that's for sure, when it comes to punching. But he's accurate and he punches hard enough. And it's like anything, when you constantly get punched in the face, it's going to take its toll eventually. But Khan's just too vulnerable for me. He's going to get brave. He's going to start trading. And Crawford's quite tasty in the pocket when he's letting his hands go. He's vulnerable himself because he leaves his chin wide open and comes square on when he's throwing his hands. But he's exciting, and I like that. I like fighters that take risks. But I think when that happens, Khan's the bravado's going to kick in, and he's going to get knocked out.
Yeah, see, that's the way I see it too, bro. Because Khan likes to throw his flurries and rush in, bro. He's going to get clipped with something, you know what on the way in. You know,
he doesn't have good defense either.
It's
just that even at his best, he does. Like, I could see him outboxing him. Like I said, I could see it like maybe a round or two, maybe three, and then fucking TC starts touching him up, and then this boy goes to sleep. That's what that's what I suspect is going to happen. Right? We don't know how these fights play out.
Remember,
for sure. Yeah.
Remember when Amir Khan fought Marcos Maidana, El Chino? He surprisingly put up a good fight and showed a good chin, during that fight. I don't know how he prepared for that, but I was kind of surprised with that performance.
You know what the thing with that is though, bro. Maidana's a tough dude. Don't get me wrong. I ain't got nothing against Maidana, but he ain't nearly as good of a boxer as Crawford is, bro. He ain't. He's a fucking Crawford's a switch hitter. He can brawl, he can bang, he can do it. He's got the whole bag of tricks over there. You know what I'm saying? So, and I ain't got nothing against Maidana, and he, Maidana rocked him and had him hurt and this and that. But Crawford's a lot better of a boxer than Maidana was. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Maidana was a great pressure fighter.
He was a great pressure. As far as the power, Maidana was, he was a threat inside the pocket.
Yeah, and I like Maidana. Don't get me wrong, but you know.
I mean that Maidana that fought Khan, I believe he'd already lost to. Was it Kotelnik? I think he lost to Devon Alexander.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
So the Khan that fought Adrian, the Maidana that fought Adrian Broner would have slept Amir Khan for a week.
Yeah, he more than likely would have done that. Yeah. I think he would have got one in, and it would have been over.
Yeah, I think Maidana was dangerous back then. But he was very basic, very sluggish. I mean, when he went to Garcia at least brought a jab into his game. That's one thing Garcia did with Maidana.
Oh yeah,
gave him a
once
jab.
that jab came into the game, he
taught Maidana to get inside without just coming square on with your chin in the air, sort of thing. He actually used to do that a lot better, that's for sure, get inside. And I think that's two things that Garcia did. And I think if that version had fought Khan, I think he would have slept Amir Khan.
You talking about Mikey Garcia or Danny, bro? Which Garcia?
Robert Garcia.
No,
Robert Garcia. Robert.
Oh, he trained him. That's right.
I'm saying Maidana.
Right. Yeah.
No, I was talking about Maidana. I was saying that Maidana that fought Broner would sleep Amir Khan.
Yeah.
He's a better version. He's a
much better version.
Yeah.
Right on. My bad, bro. Yeah.
That's why I think
a better version will trade with Robert. That's what
you're breaking up, man. Cannot hear you.
Okay. Hello.
Yeah, we can hear you, Gonzalo.
Okay. Can you hear me? When Stu was saying when he started training with Robert Garcia.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
He obviously got much better because he was starting to throw jabs into his arsenal, and obviously it made it a lot better for him to close distance, and that's where he wanted to be. Once that was established by Maidana, he was a threat to everybody. I still believe. Okay, they gave Floyd the fight. Maybe he outpointed him, but when it comes to beating a guy up, nobody got. At least in my eyes, nobody beat up Floyd the way Maidana did. Maidana beat Floyd up.
Sure.
Go ahead.
What Madonna did, Madonna rushed Floyd. He didn't give Floyd a chance to time, so just rushed him. And once he was on the inside, he was just mauling him. And that you got to do that with Floyd, man. You got to take away the distance. When you let Floyd fight on the back foot and use his legs and pop shot his way, he's going to school you to, he's going to take you to school. And
Exactly.
you got to rough Floyd up. You got to get in his fucking space and do what Madonna did. And the first fight, I mean, very, very close.
Go on, man. Go on. After you.
No, but I was just gonna say, yeah, Maidana went in there with the mentality of I gotta control this man. I gotta throw him on the ropes. I gotta rough him up. I gotta have him fight my fight. And Maidana did give Floyd a very, very tough fight in that first fight. You know what I'm saying? So he went in there with that. Maidana reminded me of the clips my pops and them used to watch from young Roberto Duran back in the 70s and 60s. And
Yeah,
that's a good comparison. Yeah, that's a good comparison.
Yeah, in the first fight against Floyd Mayweather, before catching him on the ropes and before rushing him on the ropes, he was fighting the shit of Mayweather at the middle of the ring. He, in fact, he was the one that made Mayweather go to the ropes. It was not really like Mayweather chose to do it by himself. If you slow down the video and watch his moves while they're in the middle of the ring, the guy was that's why Robert Garcia is such a good trainer. He helped a lot to Maidana. He taught him how to feint him out and make him go to the ropes.
And it was easy, and if you look at it, it was pretty easy for Maidana. I'm not saying that he beat Floyd easy. What I'm saying was he was able to back Floyd up to the ropes because Floyd doesn't use both hands, right? Mm-hmm. Like especially in his latter stage. In his younger stage, he did more, but in his latter stage, he didn't fucking jab, or if he's not jabbing, he does. He doesn't know, like, when a guy's coming in, you fucking throw your lead left hook or he wouldn't do any of that shit. So he was pretty easy to back up, and Maidana had very easy success backing him up and roughing him up because of that.
I think Precise in the chat. I just want to read a few comments quickly because Butcho's not around. So I think Precise made a good point. I'm going to read that in a minute. I'm going to go up to Champion Killer X. He said Garcia was getting whacked up. Had his daddy crying in the corner. Champion Killer is obviously a massive Khan fan. I exposed why in the chat. We all know why he likes Khan, but that's for another story. That's another story for another day. But let's go through German Persian. Floyd knocked out an Asian miner. Now he is a KO machine all of a sudden. He's on about the Little Tay fight. I think that Floyd had the other day.
That kid was like 19 years old.
Yeah, Little Tay. That's who it was. Overhand, some pink-haired dude is fighting in the prelims. I don't know. I'm not watching at the moment. All boxing. I know he's just talking to someone else. Shepherd's Sons. Khan is overall weak. Violent News Network. Oh, he's talking to All Boxing, so I'll let them get on with it. New Day. Khan has a granite chin. Slapnuts says Maidana showed zero respect in the first fight. The others were grateful for the opportunity. I think he's got a good point there. Maidana wasn't just thankful for the paycheck. He actually went to win, and that's something we didn't really see in a lot of Floyd fights. A lot of them just froze and took their beat. Well, they weren't even a beating because Floyd don't really beat people. It just schools them, sort of thing. Yeah. Precise presenter said Floyd doesn't sit in the pocket and counter like Garcia. He can't throw a left hook anyway. All he does is slap. So, I think
I agree with that.
Floyd's gonna fight his baby mother next on pay-per-view. Motherfucker. That
fight his baby moms.
Hey, recognize.
That last motherfucker, June. That man that Chris Tucker was chasing around. You heard me?
Yeah, Jackie Chan.
What?
Yeah, recognize.
Was
the Mayweather was the Broner fight before the Mayweather? What before? That was right after.
No, That was after right after the Broner fight. He got the he got the Floyd fight.
Do you think that helped?
Do you know why he got that fight recognised? Gonzalo,
Say,
brother, your internet's really bad today, brother. Recognised he got that fight. He got that fight right. Madonna got that fight because Floyd's ego kicked in. He saw what he did to Broner, and he wanted to prove a point just to Broner. And Broner was meant to be his friend at the time, but that's what Floyd does. Floyd, Floyd will shit on him. Floyd shits on everyone, mate. We know that. Floyd picked Madonna. He picked Madonna so he could beat him up and basically get one over Broner, and it sort of nearly backfired on him, didn't it? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I thought. I thought exactly what you just said. I thought they almost backfired. To me, the first fight I thought he lost. Second fight, I have no problem with them giving it to Floyd Mayweather. But in terms of like just somebody who beat Floyd up, shit, Maidana did that. To me, Maidana just didn't give a fuck. He just didn't. I'm gonna fucking rough this dude up. I'm gonna hit him with everything. I fuck the referee. Fuck everybody else. I'm just gonna hit this guy.
Yeah, straight
But have you noticed though?
Prepared him for that.
Recognised. Did you notice though that Floyd was never ever mentioning Madonna's name before the Broner fight? I even knew Madonna was, but as soon as he beat Broner, you
notice. Sorry guys, let me get this in. You notice that before.
Go on.
The whole his next fight, right? His next fight was he left it to his fans. I think it was on Instagram or one of those sites where they would vote who's going to be his next opponent. And I think overwhelmingly they picked Khan, and he still went with Maidana. So you're right, he did want that fight for whatever reason. He really wanted that fight. I think it was to show Broner that hey, listen, I'm better than you. You see, the guy that just beat you, I can beat him even in my age that I'm in. And like you said, it almost backfired on him.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, and like you said, Stu, after Maidana smacked Broner around, like I say, Broner and Floyd were buddies back then. So then he's like, oh, let me stick up for my little brother back. Get the fuck out of here. But he's sticking up for his girlfriend. That's all it was. But
No, Floyd. Listen, Floyd. Like Stu said, Floyd was never really interested in sharing the spotlight. If he was, he would have given one of these. Look, instead of fighting Conor McGregor and the little Asian dude, he would have fought somebody in the PBC, stable. He would have given one of those guys a chance by now.
Yeah.
He's not interested in sharing the limelight with anybody or passing the torch. That's not who Floyd is.
Well, bro, and that's what my whole beef was with the Tank Davis and Abner Mares, bro. Like, and like, Johnny Gonzalez hits hard. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, getting put in there with these soft touches and shit. Like, come on, man.
I mean, Johnny Gonzalez hits hard, but he's not as big as or young as
exactly.
Tank. So Tank, listen, Tank. This is a stay busy fight, a cherry pick. He should be able to wipe Abner Mares out. That's just what I'm thinking.
Exactly.
I'm not going to give him too much points for that.
I think Tank Davis goes through Abner Mares quite comfortably.
Yeah.
Too strong, too young.
Maybe this is Stu. This is exactly what
the thing is with Tank Davis, right? The thing is with Tank Davis, he's technically very good as well. I know he throws his hands like he looks a bit sluggish at sometimes, but technically he's quite good. And when he lets his hands go, he's quite exciting to watch. And he's explosive, and he does a lot of damage. I think he could take Mares out there quite quickly. I don't think that's going to go 6 rounds, that one.
Yeah, it shouldn't go 6 rounds.
Yeah. I don't see that. I don't see that fight going long neither. And here's the thing too is these dudes want to give Tank Davis a pass because he did duck Lomachenko. Like, he legitimately ducked Lomachenko. But these dudes want to give him a pass, like, oh, he's young, let him develop, and whoa, whoa, whoa. But
Right.
where was all that talk when Floyd fought Canelo? Because
I'm so happy you brought that up. I'm so happy you brought that up.
You know what I'm saying? Recognize,
So Tank is too green right now for Lomachenko, although he could beat him, right? They don't even know what they're saying. He's too young, but he could beat Lomachenko. Yeah, right. Okay. Canelo fighting Floyd I've heard people say, nah, he was in his prime. Like, really, he was in his prime. Was he a better fighter then than he is now? And they'll say, well, I really don't notice any difference. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. You really don't notice any difference.
I mean, you just don't know boxing.
There's a size difference.
If you can't see the improvements in skills that Canelo's got now compared to the one that fought Floyd Mayweather. I mean, the one that fought Floyd, very flat-footed, couldn't cut off the ring. He was very hesitant on the night because I think he actually, he's very weight drained, but I think he froze on the night as well. He just froze.
Well, when you're not feeling,
I don't think he could cope with Floyd's style. He had no answers. He froze. But
when you're feeling
different fight now.
When you get into a fight and you feel like you're under, like you're it's just not fair. It's not a fair fight, right? You do feel weird. It's kind of a weird feeling. Like, have you guys ever got into a fight and like the guy you fighting with has like 10 guys and they all rowdy and you're like with 2 other dudes? You ever have that? You're like, oh shit, bro. If I start fucking this dude up, what's gonna happen? You know, all these guys gonna jump in. You know, it's kind of like that feeling, but in terms like that's not gonna happen to Canelo, right? We know that, not in a boxing fight. But when you're like, weight drained, and you know that you're going up against a political machine, and even though you got a political machine behind you, right? Because you got Oscar De La Hoya, you're Mexican, you're in Vegas, and the whole nine. You just know that this is not set up for you to win. Even if the scorecards are going to give you extra rounds, it's just not a good look. You're more likely not gonna pull this fight off.
Bro, I remember back in the day, bro. I boxed this cat back in the neighborhood, and he brought, like, it's funny you bring that up. Recognize, I boxed this kid back in the neighborhood, and he brought like 20 people over there, and I knew in my heart of hearts, bro. I was like, bro, if I beat the shit out of this kid, these cats are gonna jump on me. So I let him get my licks, or I let him get his licks or whatever, and I was beating the shit out of this kid, and he hit me, and he pulled some Orlando Solito and hit me right in the fucking balls. And I was beating the hell out of him, man. And these cats was like, whoa.
Street fight, man. Street fight. Anything goes. You know how it is.
Yeah, straight up, bro. Yeah.
Nobody, it could be 1-on-1 and it could be 15-on-3 in 1 second. You know.
Well, you know what the funny thing about that one was? I'm not going off in a rabbit trail. I ain't gonna make a whole story out of it, but my dude that started this whole thing off, bro. He got into a beef because this other cat was fucking his girlfriend, and then he didn't want to come out of the house when it was time to rock, bro. I'm like, and I stuck up for him, and I'm like, come on, man, get your bitch ass out of the house, and let's, and homie, man, come on, bro, What the hell's going on? Oh, my bad.
Recognize popped off.
I suppose we better talk about Jaime Munguia. I mean, he's fighting tonight.
My fellow comrade from.
Is that one on DAZN?
Yeah, that's DAZN. That is. I've actually just turned on. That's one thing Al Heyman has done for us UK fans. He's actually brought fights to free TV. But he's actually, because Keith Thurman's on okay. I mean, I was surprised because I was going through all the subscription channels looking for the Thurman fight, couldn't find it, and I've just found it on free TV. So keep bringing us these free fights. I mean, it doesn't really matter to me anyway because I've got them all anyway. But there's certain people out there won't get chance to watch them fights, and they're going to be able to see Thurman tonight. So it's a good thing. You know, I'm no hater on Heyman. If Heyman's going to bring good boxing, then all the best to him. I'm not one of these promotion fanboys. You know, I'm with Frank, I'm with Eddie. You know, and fuck all that, man. Just put on the good fights.
Right. I'm the same way, bro. I don't give a damn what network it's on, who's promoting it, none of that shit. As long as you put on the right fights, I'm happy.
I think these boxing fans that display that. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead,
Johnny
brother.
Boy. It's just fanboy gay shit. Like that's like, why do you care who brings? Look, man, if Al Heyman is putting on a good fight, I'm gonna watch it. I don't know Al Heyman. He never did nothing to me. Okay, I'm not gonna praise him at the same time. Like, I'm loyal to him because he's never did nothing for me. He's never did nothing to me, or he's never did nothing for me. Okay, so
and you know the crazy part about that.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, and you know the crazy part about that, Recognize? If you get another fight on a different promotional entity, they're not even looking at that fight with the clear mind, thinking it's going to be a good fight. They're already talking bad about the fight, expecting it to turn out into a bad fight, so they can go ahead and talk about it not being a good fight.
Here's the reason
they're
why.
more interested in that.
They're more interested in trying to sell you a propaganda. They want you to believe that PBC fighters, for whatever reason, maybe it has to do with race, okay, and I'm more than likely it probably has to do with that, that this is the best quality boxing you're getting. This is the best. Not only you're getting the best fights, you're getting the best talent, according to the. They're trying to sell you that propaganda. So anything that goes against that, right, or the narrative is different from that, where, oh wow, look at this guy, he's actually fucking really good. To me, he looks better than most of the guys on PBC, and he's fighting better competition, or that promoter is doing a pretty good job and putting on better fights. They hate on that. That's the propaganda. So they have to look. You don't have to talk that much to get your point across. You just let them show the fights and let everything play out for itself, right? Because if it's a shit card, if the zone is showing a shit card, which they have, all right, I'm not gonna say the zone shows only great fights. There's been some shitty cards. People will notice it for themselves, okay? Or if PBC is giving you shit, they're selling you shit, let people have their own judgment. Why do you need to come to their defense as if you work for them? It's not that they work for them. They believe in this agenda that the PBC is the brightest, the brightest and the best boxing, because they have an agenda to sell. They want to sell you that these are the best fighters, and they're putting on the best fights, and there is no contest, there's no argument. It's like, it's bullshit.
Recognize. Let me add something to that, brother. I you know what? It's just like when guys want a fanboy for somebody who's a certain race or a certain nationality. It's the same shit, bro. I've never rooted for a guy just because he's Italian. I'm not rooting for a dude. I'm not rooting for Francisco Pianetta to beat up Tyson Fury just because he's Italian. You know what I'm saying? I like Gotti. I like Arturo in them, but everybody liked Arturo because he came out there and banged every time. But I never even understood that. I mean, it helps when you're the same race or nationality and all that bullshit. But I'm not just fanboying for a kid because he's this. You know what I'm saying, bro?
No, I agree. Like, remember you said, look, man, Trinidad was. Because you recognize that Trinidad was a guy that I really liked a lot, right?
Right.
I've said it plenty of times, Trinidad, but it was more because, was it because he was Puerto Rican and he actually grew up in the same town as my grandfather?
Right. Yeah.
That kind of helped, but I liked his personality, and I liked his. But first and foremost, I liked his boxing style. He knocked people out. That's what he wanted to do.
Yeah,
he was an exciting fighter.
Right.
But I didn't root for every point. I don't like Miguel Cotto. Granted, he's a good fighter. I don't like his personality. I don't like him as a person. Okay? I kind of have a bias against him. And I can admit that. I don't like I've never liked the Miguel Cotto attitude type.
He's kind of
you know?
he's a
See,
weirdo. He's a weirdo.
I've been the same. I was the same with Tony Bellew. I was actually cheering Usyk on. I wasn't cheering him on with my fucking Usyk scarf like a fanboy, but I actually wanted him to win, sort of thing. And I was the same. Never really been a fan of Tony Bellew. I think he's a decent fighter, and I've said he's a lot better than people think he is. Do you know what I mean? Very crafty, but I just never liked the. He's got a gob on him, isn't he? He's a bit of a gobshite, and I just never liked the guy. So I'm not going to pick Tony Bellew over Usyk just because he's British. I don't work like that. I'll pick the guy I prefer.
Right,
That's
bro.
it.
Right, bro. And like I say, I'm not pulling for Paulie Malignaggi's punk ass just because he's Italian, bro. Like to me, Paulie's a punk, bro. You know what I'm saying? I don't like that motherfucker because he's a good commentary and all this, but he outside of that, he talks a lot of shit about a lot of people who he can't even hold a candlestick up to. You know what I'm saying? Like talking shit about Pacquiao, bro. Like, oh, Pacquiao don't got no heart, and it's like, bro, how many times you been stopped, bro? Like, shut your fucking punk ass up, bro.
But that's because
But it's just not about the. Go ahead, official.
It's okay. I just wanted to say that boxing is an individual sport, and so it's different from the team sports and from the Olympic Games and shit.
No, I understand that, bro. I'm just saying.
Yeah, me.
It's just that shit stupid basing who you're gonna root for off of.
Yeah, I was just saying that
Yeah, go ahead, Gonzalo.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was just saying, who goes into a fight card with the mentality, I hope this fight card is not good, or I'm just wishing that it does not do well, so I can come right around and talk bad about it and compare it to this one that I hope turns out the way I want to. That's what you call fanboyism.
right.
I mean, what else can there be if you don't go there with the clear mind, just letting it recognize, say, play out by itself,
Right.
hoping, like Stu said, I just want to see good boxing all across the board. That's not real boxing. And
Right.
then you do pick your fighters. Basically, like you're saying, nationality wise, it doesn't have to be exclusive, but you can also like somebody that's like you, that's that represents something about you. It doesn't mean that there's not other fighters that you can like, but what is it with picking the worst type of examples out there? And just like, for example, you got a Terrence Crawford, you got a Keith Thurman, you got a Anthony Joshua, but you pick out 2 or 3 fighters like the Charlo brothers, like Dante Wilder and Andre Broner, that are not the best fighters, that they're largely improving and don't usually represent themselves in the best way. And and you just stick to that, what I was gonna say, Errol Spence, he's a decent guy, but he's still largely improving, and there's a lot of hype behind him. But that's the fixation that I don't quite understand. It's almost sickening. Go ahead.
Broner has had.
Go ahead, Stuart. I'm sorry, brother.
Sorry, Johnny. Sorry, bro. Go on.
No, I was just gonna say, as far as Errol Spence goes, that's what kills me when these guys are ranking him in the top fucking 5 pound for pound. Like, bro, the only decent fight he's had is Kell Brook with a broken eye socket coming off a loss from Triple G. So how how in God's name are you gonna rank? And I hear these kids making them, number 1 pound for pound and shit. Like, you don't know what you're.
They said if he beats
Adrian Broner was put on the pound for pound list for beating up DeMarco.
Right. Yeah, I remember that.
Escobedo. And getting a dodgy points win against Ponce de Leon. I mean, that was enough to get him on the pound for pound list. So that pound for pound list, it's got a lot of bias, shall we say, from that side of the pond.
Yeah, you know what? I as far as I'm concerned, Joshua should be ranked farther up on the pound for pound list because he's fought more guys in the top 10 of his own division than Spence has.
Absolutely.
far as I'm concerned. Shit. But did I say something wrong?
I mean, just someone in the chat just mentioned. I mean, it just shows you what a fucking piece of work Paulie must be for a girl to leave him for Adrian Broner. I mean, it says. I mean, can you imagine your girl leaving you for Adrian Broner? I mean, that Broner's a real fucking. He's a real piece of shit. That guy. So just says a lot about Paulie. It says a lot about Paulie, doesn't it? Do you know what I mean?
Well,
I actually quite like Paulie. I actually like Paulie when he's not bleeding over Conor McGregor. I mean, it's getting quite scary.
Well, somebody asked me if I was the same cat in the chat as Nino was. No, but I did use Nino's account a couple of times. I'm the one with the goth chick, bro. Bro, I've been with the same girlfriend for 2 years, bro. The loyalty, I'm fucking loyal to her. She's loyal to me, and that's if you have your woman, if that's your real woman that goes running for a piece of shit like that, then she wasn't your girlfriend to begin with, bro. That's right. She wasn't your girlfriend to begin with. You know what I mean? So
yeah, she's probably the one fucking Wilder strangled in the hotel. Do you know what I mean? She's probably been everywhere.
all I do is I press mute. I leave my phone for a second. Next thing you know, I hear is she's probably the chick Wilder choked out in the hotel. What's going on?
Yeah.
They recognize.
Go ahead, Gonzalo. I'm sorry, brother. Go ahead.
I just wanted to mention earlier when you guys were talking about the welterweights and fighters being undefeated, or I don't know, at least it came to mind. But Aaron Pryor was undefeated for his whole career until he made a comeback, right?
Right. Well, Aaron Pryor was the undefeated junior welterweight. I think he went up and pretty much fought like a journeyman at 147 and got knocked the fuck out. Yeah. I mean, now Aaron Pryor, I believe that may have been his last fight of his career. I'm not 100% sure. You can just look that up on BoxRec. But Aaron Pryor was a very good fighter at 140 pounds. You got to put him in there. That discussion of the best 140 pounders. Yeah,
he's got to be. Aaron Pryor for me is one of the best 140s of all time. Very, very exciting fight to watch. I used to love watching Aaron Pryor fight, but I can't get that Panama Lewis incident out of my head when he gave him the bottle.
You know what? And in fairness, Stu, you're right. You're 100% right about that. And Panama Lewis, we know what a piece of shit he turned out to be in terms of a trainer. But after the fight, remember, at the second fight, he didn't have Panama Lewis, and he still stopped Arguello. Yeah. So he was a very good fighter. He didn't need to do all that other extra stuff. And some people will tell you that, listen, Arguello was done after that fight, the first time. But I mean, look, the guy was very good. He was a very good fighter.
Real right. I mean, where Aaron Pryor found the energy to throw hands like that late on in the fight, after he's been in a war, after he'd just been hurt the previous round, he looked like he was flagging a little bit, and then he just found energy. It's like he took some of that Bruce Banner lotion, and fucking rest is history, man.
And you guys see the shots that Arguello was landing on him the round before? Man, and he still came back.
Arguello was fucking his ass up, man.
Arguello was tuning his ass, bro.
Arguello was a great fighter.
Yeah.
He was definitely one of the, especially back then. He was probably in the top 5 at least pound for pound back then.
Yeah.
And he was a great fighter. There was some, obviously, listen, when it came to Panama Lewis, there was always some dirty tricks. I mean, he was known for that. Like, remember what he did with the Puerto Rican fighter, that he took his gloves, he took the stuffing.
I forgot about that, dog. Damn.
That Resto incident. I mean, that Resto against Billy, what's his name? Billy Collins Jr.
The Irish kid.
That was Panama Lewis in the corner that took them.
Of course,
the padding out of them.
That got him banned for life. That got him banned. That's it.
You're right.
So he should.
I think he got arrested, and so did and so did what was his name? The Spanish
Resto.
kid. Yeah,
Resto.
Tony Resto. Tony Resto got arrested. He went to jail for that, and I believe Panama Lewis did too. And Tony Resto tried his best to say that Panama Lewis did this without his consent. Panama didn't want to make the kid look bad. He's like, "Come on, kiddo, you know what I did. I did it for you. Like, don't try to fucking throw me. Don't try to throw me under the bus and just me only. I don't want to blow your spot up, but you know that you was a part of that. You was okay with it.
Yeah.
I mean, Panama Lewis actually trained, even when he was banned, he was actually Zab Judah's trainer, I believe. But he trained Zab Judah for a fight and then go in a bar in Las Vegas Strip and watch the fight because he weren't allowed in the arena.
No, he wasn't allowed in the arena. He could be seen in your local bars and like gambling bars in Manhattan. You'll see Panama Lewis. Very approachable dude, real nice too. You could have a conversation with him and all that. But he was a dirty motherfucker. That's what he was. You know? Panama Lewis was the type of guy that you get into a fight with, right? He's on your side. He'd be like, "Yo, here's an ice pick, fucking brass knuckle. As soon as you hit him, you're gonna freaking take his eye out, you know."
Make sure you stick Maury in the back of the head with that fucking thing.
Yeah.
The thing is, Panama Lewis today would he'd get life in prison for some of the things he got away with back then. He'd get life in prison for it, man. Fucking hell. I mean, some of the things he's done. I mean, it's probably the most disgraceful things in sport. You've only got to put. I mean, you can put James Butler ahead of him, but he's around that. He's around James Butler.
Yeah.
He's an absolute disgrace.
Just stick Maury in the back of the head with that ice pick. That's all.
Yeah.
Now you know what? Aaron Pryor was a good fighter, man, but it's a lot of. He's just one of them dudes, bro. He's got that cloud of suspicion around him and this and that. And he was
an elite brawler, bro. That's what he was. He was an elite brawler.
Yeah,
he could throw that fucking jab while he's coming in, but everything was about power punching, fam.
Imagine a dream fight between him and Manny Pacquiao.
Pacquiao beats him.
Pacquiao smacks him. Bro.
Yeah. Even though Pryor's I think he gives Pacquiao. Yeah, I think he gives Pacquiao a little run for his money. But once Pacquiao starts bouncing on those feet, that dude is finished. Can I finish?
Yeah, let me say something to that, bro. Pryor was a lot like, I mentioned Amir Khan and Crawford, and he likes to rush in and throw his flurries, bro. Pryor was the same way, bro. He likes to jump in there head first, bro. Pacquiao would have clipped him with something. Pacquiao in his prime, Pacquiao that fought Morales and Barrera and Ricky Hatton and these dudes, bro. Pacquiao would have smacked them, bro. It would have been a good fight. Don't get me wrong, but
Yeah.
Can I just respond?
Go ahead.
To Nechi Carter. He's put in the chat. He's gone Wilder's brothers. No, sorry. He said the Wilder brothers had Fury shook. Now I actually did a video on Marcellus Wilder, and you can be telling more lies if you tried. I mean, go back and watch the video that we did, the Boxing Clan edition. Marcellus Wilder, he got shook. The Furies put it on him
3 times.
He ran. He got smacked in his head. He ran behind his brother and the big bodyguard. And he stayed there. He was at the back of the stage, quiet, like a Minnie Mouse he was. So if you want to see the proof, then it's there in the video.
Look, Stu. This is... I've told you guys, I worked as a bouncer, okay? So some of my job was, you got to know how to fight. You just got to know how to fight. And there was some fighting in that situation where I say to myself, would I have been in danger, right? I saw what the Fury camp did, and I said, man, those are big fucking boys. I could have been in some trouble there, right? There's nothing that I saw from Wilder's little brother, Marcelo, that said, oh, this little boy scares me. Like, there's nothing at all. He first of all, he doesn't know he's like everywhere. He's like he's so scared, right? He's wide open for like smacks. He comes in. He comes into the instead of coming into the middle, braced up and guarded up. He comes into the middle because he's scared. It's just all false bravado. He's scared, wide open, and they're just smacking him, pop, pop, pop. And when he got smacked like a couple of times, you're right. His first inclination was to run behind his brother. That was his first, because his brother's 6'7".
And all that bravado, the big mouth, it disappeared. He was, like I said, he was like Minnie Mouse hiding behind Big Bro. I mean, you couldn't even see Marcellus because he was behind Wilder. He curled up the ball behind Big Bro.
I believe Deontay Wilder has suffered ass beatings outside of the ring in the streets because of his brother.
That don't surprise me.
I truly believe that.
Yeah,
even Wilder had to probably yo, the next time that happens, I'm gonna fuck you up. I'm personally gonna fuck you up.
That wouldn't surprise me neither.
When he was arguing with Tony Bellew, Deontay was in the background, never really got involved with that convo. He stayed well in the background and stayed on the stairs just watching. I mean, I think he knows what his brother's like. I think Marcellus is a sort of guy that could cause a row in an empty room. Do you know what I mean? So I think his brother knows that.
What was that? What was that guy that was with Bellew, the black dude? I like him.
That's Clifton Mitchell. He's actually the head of Matchroom Security. He's a serious guy. He used to be a professional fighter himself. But
I'll smack the shit out of you. He's like, come here. You heard what I said. I'll smack the shit out of you.
Clifton Mitchell would eat Wilder and spitting him out, especially Marcellus. I'm not saying he'd do that to Deontay, but Marcellus did eat and spit him out. He's a street guy, Clifton Mitchell. Not a man to be messed with. Like I said, he's got a lot of guys on his side as well. When you run Matchroom Security, you've got a few lumps.
Anytime I see a man that big, anytime I see a man that big smiling to go to confrontation, I'm worried about that guy. Right there, that's a number one. That's a number one sign. This guy loves to fight. And he must love to fight. Did you see what he said? Because he could do it good. That's why.
Did you see what he said to? Did you see what he said to Marcellus? Where Marcellus said he'd knock Tony Bellew out. He goes, "Little brother." He goes, "You're going to sleep, little brother. You're going to sleep quick."
Exactly. Yeah, that's exactly what he was saying. Yeah.
How old is Marcellus Wilder? 28, and he just got started in boxing. You see, that's why it's never going to work out for him. Not saying that it's impossible, but it's highly improbable. 28 years old and just got started in boxing.
Does Marcellus Wallace look like a bitch?
Yes.
Does he look like a bitch? Yeah, I got in a good. Some of you watched the MMA and shit that this cat when I went to high school with that Ben Rothwell, he knocked fucking Brendan Schaub out actually in the octagon. I got in a fight with one of his fucking one of the kids that used to train at his gym and shit, bro. Mind you, I was like 16. This kid was like 20, bro. He ran up on me at the parking lot, bro, and snuffed me in the back of the head. And then we started going, and I lined him up, and I caught him, and I knocked he had a ski mask and all this kind of shit on, and I knocked the ski mask off his face. He fucking fell down and ran back in the car and took that motherfucker, you. Am I still there? What the hell's going on?
Hey, recognize.
Oh.
Recognize.
I suppose we better get on to Jaime Munguia because I mentioned that about half an hour ago. Then we got on to some topics and we've totally forgot about the guy again because it's not really a fight. I want to see Munguia in. He's fighting a Inoue, isn't he? The Jap.
But isn't he's his brother or something, isn't he? Because he's fucking 5.
No, he's like a cousin. He's like a cousin. They're part of the clan. He's got another brother, Inoue, the bantamweight, but this guy's like a third cousin.
Right. Okay. That's what I was wondering. Okay.
Yeah.
For sure.
I mean, Jaime Munguia, very, very, very solid fight, very dangerous. He's a young man as well. He's only going to get better, but he's got so many. He's got so many flaws. I mean, let's be real. Liam Smith was tagging up Munguia, rocking his head back. You know, Liam Smith's not a big puncher. Now, if that's a big puncher in there with Munguia, he's going to sleep because he's just so wide open at the moment. He's very exciting, and when he's putting it on you, it's not a very nice. I haven't been on the end of a Munguia beating, but I can imagine it not being a very very nice feeling sort of thing because he swarms you and he's a good puncher, and you know, every shot Munguia hits you with is hurting you. So, but when you look at the defensive side of his game, he's horrible, and
yeah.
I think there's a lot. What about you guys?
What I noticed about Munguia? You know what I noticed about Munguia, and I don't see too many fighters fighting like that, which I don't know yet if it's totally a good thing. But okay, he does have good feet, and he floats around the ring. You know, he gets his distance with his legs. He got good spring on his legs, and then he picks out his target, and then he closes the distance and assaults you with the you know.
Yeah.
And that's how he was able to get rid of Saddam Ali. I think he gets inertia on his shots when he closes the distance, you know, with speed, with his legs coming in, and he was able to take Saddam Ali out, but he couldn't do it to this other guy that Stu was mentioning.
I was going to say is if Munguia learned some head movement and this, that, and the third, because he's got nice power, he's got nice speed. If a little bit there, bro, he's gonna be a hard man to beat, bro. Mark my words. You know what I'm saying? So.
Hey, but yeah, you guys notice that he doesn't run, but he'll create separation and he'll move around the ring. Like he'll travel great. Yes.
Sorry, brother, you're really cutting out quite bad. Is there any way you can sort your internet? Can you reset it or something? Because you just cut every 2 or 3 words that you're saying is cutting out, bro. So we're not catching what you're saying.
I will.
Even Stu's internet's better than yours today.
Well, I actually went and recognised. I actually went and bought 30 meters of Ethernet cable today, and I've plugged it in. It seems to be working okay.
But Stu, you're saying that in your building there's old internet. There's no new internet connection, right?
No, I can't have that fibre because I live in the countryside, and it probably cost them. Probably cost them $3 million to lay it. Do you know what I mean? They're not going to do that for my house, are they? So, at the end of the day, we've got the best one I could get. But I've always been getting poor signals when I've been coming on. But I think it's the Wi-Fi box more than it. I think it's bad. Don't get me wrong, but I think it's more the Wi-Fi box because now, since I've plugged this Ethernet cable in, I've not been cutting out. So that seems to have sorted it out.
Well,
because where the box is, it's near my main computer. So when I come to talk to boxing with you guys, I come in another room. So I've bought 30 meters, and hopefully I've sorted the problem out.
Too, you know what? I'm in a similar situation because in my building, I'm not living at the countryside. I'm living just on the outskirts of Paris, in a city, in a town just outside of Paris. But internet is so bad, and imagine when I'm trying to stream the boxing fights, man, in the middle of the night, in the morning, I'm shouting and screaming.
Hey, listen, I've been there, bro. Right, this is why boxing costs me so much money, because I cannot watch boxing on a stream. It's just so frustrating. It cuts out. I've been watching fights where a guy's been dropped and it's just froze. I don't even know if he got up or anything. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah,
I can't stay up to 4 a.m. that late to watch that shit. So I've got all the channels. I've got the BT Sports, Sky Sports, Box Nation. You know, so it cost me a fortune, but unfortunately I like to watch my boxing without any interruptions.
Well,
the way to go.
I thought about doing it, but the problem is we don't have the channels here in France like BT Sports, etc. So it's really hard. It's impossible to watch the fights. So it's really frustrating.
Hey, Stu, bro. I watch the regular TV at my house. I go to my girlfriend's to watch the DAZN because I don't got no smart TV. It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Yeah,
It's
see,
a lot.
I've got,
It's a lot
I've
of
got,
fucking about, bro.
yeah, it is. See, we can't get the zone in the UK. We can't. So we have to. All the DAZN fights are on Sky Sports, so we still get the fights, but we can't get the zone. I mean, I've just got because I've got a smart TV. I've just got Netflix. I've just ordered that.
Oh yeah.
Just to that ain't too bad. That ain't too bad. But
Yeah.
unfortunately, we can't get the zone.
Yeah, official. Ain't you aren't you Serbian or Russian or something, brother?
Yeah, that's right. I'm Serbian, but I've been living in France, in Paris, since 2004.
No. I was just gonna say, bro. I used to run around with a bunch of Serbians in Chicago and shit.
Oh yeah, because in USA, most of Serbians are concentrated there in Chicago.
Yeah,
Chicago
bro.
and Staten Island and New York.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. There's a lot of them.
Yeah,
There's
bro.
a lot of them.
I used to run around and play cards with them dudes, bro.
They're cool.
They're
They're
crazy.
cool, but they're crazy motherfuckers. Yeah.
And, like I said, them Eastern European guys, man. They're bred differently.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, anyone will tell you that, and you know, they're not people to be fucked with. Not all of them, of course. You know, there's going to be ones that you can spark out with a shot, but most of them, especially when they're drunk, because they can take more shots then. Do you know what I mean? So they're bred different. You know, if you think you can just walk up to a big Eastern European guy, start smacking him, he's just going to sit there, curl up in a ball like most Western men would do, because we're so fucking like soya boys over here. But you think you can do that to one of them, man? You're going to sleep.
He's gonna break your head.
Yeah, because
I was good friends with this bouncer.
You remember being in England? There's a lot of Eastern Europeans in England, man. So we've got like towns run by the Russian mafia over here. You know what I mean?
I used to be friends with this bouncer, right? I used to work with this guy, and he was and he was from Eastern Europe too. I forgot where from. I don't remember, but it wasn't he wasn't Serbian. So he lived in Staten Island, right? And so he came in one day and he was bruised up. I said, "Yo, was that the fight last night at the club?" He goes, "Nah, these motherfuckers, these fucking Serbians. You know, I get into a fucking fight. When I get back to my house, this fucking one Serbian guy looking at my girl. I say, 'What the fuck you looking at, you Serbian piece of shit?' And he said, I said, 'So what happened after that?' He goes, 'This is the wrong move. They fucking beat the shit out of me.'"
Yeah. I had boxed this kid who was Serbian, bro. He was giving. I'm a little Italian dude, bro. I'm like 5'9", 5'8", bro, and this cat was like 6'2", but he's got a nose like Joe Frazier, you know. This you know. But we boxed in his garage, no headgear, none of that shit. We you know, I was like, oh, he's like, oh, you box? I used to box. Whoa, and we put the gloves on. This fucker tuned me up, homie. he tuned me up, bro. That was and I was getting my licks on him too, bro. And that was a tough son of a bitch. That guy, man. I'll tell you what.
There's a video on the internet. I think he was a Russian guy, and he's in an elevator with some refugees, and obviously about 4 of them, I think there was, and they're obviously arguing that there's no sound, so you don't know what's been said, but it's all kicking off. As soon as the doors open, man, this Russian guy, he's gone through these 4 guys in the matter of seconds, mate. I'm telling you, fucking wrecked them in seconds on his own as well.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? Tough old boys out there.
Yeah, well, we are like that. We are very proud people. You know what? Funny little story. My boxing coach used to tell me that when he was boxing in some gym, I don't know which gym here in Paris, he goes to the changing room. There's like 5 or 6 Serbians boxing there, preparing for the training session. And so one guy is coming with his bag. My coach was thinking that it was bag with his boxing or with his boxing gloves, equipment, etc. but no, the guy is how do you say it? Fuck. He's getting out of his bag Kalashnikovs and bombs and selling to the others. He was like, man, I just took my bag and got out of there.
Yeah. Bro, I had another time with the Serbian cats, man. I went to the bar. I went to the bar and played cards with them, bro. They was like, you're good," and, you know. We had a good time. I had a good time with them boys.
Just another thing. Well, see, in America, there's problem with, those liberals are talking about problems with guns, but you know that that in Serbia there's like 7 million people, and there's a lot of guns per citizen. We are the second country in the world by the arms by citizen. Like there's almost as much guns as a citizen, but there's no shootings, no terrorist problems.
Don't
more guns mean safer streets, man.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I know even us in our house, we used to have guns and thing. My grandfather has it till this day. To this day.
To this day.
To this day.
I was watching a documentary the other day, and they reckon that bare knuckle fighting is coming back. It's getting really popular, and a lot of ex-fighters that can't obviously, not good enough to be in the boxing ring anymore. A lot of them are turning to bare knuckle fights, and it's getting popular again, and they're getting promotions behind it, and they're actually getting permits in places to show show these fights on. And so don't be surprised if that comes back. And I mean, it's not going to happen in New York. It's not going to happen where all the snowflakes are. But you can bet your life.
There used to be underground. There used to be a lot of underground street fight clubs in New York, especially, man. Like, but I mean, they don't do them anymore because a lot of them got busted. But that's basically what it was. It was a lot of. Yeah, that's basically what it was. It was a fight club. Basically, you go. Not anybody would be invited because obviously they didn't want to get just busted like that. But and you see, there's obviously I know who I'm speaking to. So I know you guys are very smart. There's a huge difference between fighting with your knuckles, and in terms of how you defend yourself, and all that to a boxing fight. It's a huge difference. It's doable. It's doable, but you just got to get the boxer. You just got to get the boxer used to how to defend himself from bare knuckles than a covered punch.
Because when you look at,
am I coming in clear?
Kimbo Slices. When you look at Kimbo Slice, some of his bare knuckle fights on YouTube, man. I mean, the man was a beast. He was fucking. He was letting people hit him clean on the chin, man. Just sitting there going, "Hit me again," something fucks. But as soon as he got in to professional fighting, I mean, he was that. He got knocked out in a round by some Italian guy with pink hair. Who was that, man?
That boy pieced him up. Right? He pieced him up, right, Stu?
Yeah, and the guy was not even a big puncher, and it wasn't a big shot that hurt him. Kimbo Slice just ran onto it, sort of thing. It was just a short cross, and he ran onto it, and it dropped him, and it was over. And even the guy that knocked him out couldn't believe it. You see how he was celebrating? It was just, this guy was taking clean shots on the streets, yet he gets just touched, just clipped, just gently by a professional fighter, and he's asleep.
So am I coming clear?
Stu, who?
Can you guys hear me?
Hang on a sec, Gonzalo. We can hear you, bro. I have to wait turn. Go on. Go on, Johnny.
Yeah.
The old gangster from England who had the boxing gym. I seen it on Vice, and he goes around and debt collects from people, and he
Yeah, that guy from Liverpool. I forgot his name now. He's a fucking dickhead. He is.
Is he?
I mean, he's one of them. He's one of them. He puts his own little bit on the end of each story. And I mean, I was watching one about him a little while ago, and he was ringing up people to do debt collecting. They was telling him to fuck off and all sorts, man. Saying, "I will. You ring me again, I'll ring the police." And he was saying he can't do anything now because the laws changed. You can't. It's not like the old days. You can't go around people's houses threatening them and
Push them around. Yeah.
You can't do that anymore. Back in the day, you could. So he's just all gas, mate. I know which one you mean. He's a scouse. I forgot his name, though.
No, I just figured I'd ask. That's all. Yeah.
Yeah. I was just gonna say real quick. You guys are talking about bare knuckle fighting. I think what that is, when you don't wear the gloves, it's hard to commit to the punches. Because when you get, like, for example, in the street fight, have you ever guys hurt your hands? And once you hurt your hand, you can't really keep fighting the same way. And I think back in the days when it first got started, you probably know more about this too. Before boxing in England, I guess there was bare knuckle fighting there, and the fights usually went on for many rounds because and they became boring because you couldn't really throw too many punches because once you hurt your hand, you cannot commit to the punches the same way, right?
So why a lot of the
right.
old fights used to last long because they had a rule where if you got dropped, it was the end of the round. So you'd get dropped. It'd be the end of the round. You'd get your minute to sort of recover. So you're not getting knocked out, sort of thing. So that's why the fights used to drag on because now you obviously. It'd be a bit different, but back then that's why a lot of them fights did used to drag on. Because as soon as you got dropped, it'd be the end of the round. You'd get your minute to recover, and then the fight would start again. And sometimes you clear your head and you go again, sort of thing. And that's
gloves are really there to protect your hands, not really the the opponent's face or anything. It's really to protect your hands.
But that documentary I was saying, they reckon actually bare knuckle fighting is actually safer than for head trauma than boxing.
Yeah,
No, it is. You're right because
area. It covers more area on the. It makes punch expand more on the cranium.
Yeah. Go on, recognize.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, just that I was gonna agree that that it actually it's probably safer to have a bare knuckle fight than a fucking in terms of taking punches, because with gloves you're really just protecting the other fighter's hands. That's all you're doing.
And as someone who's got 5 plates in my hand and wires, I know that for punching, and I just got my punch wrong. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All I did is just didn't get my technique right with that shot, and I paid for it. And I tell you what, my hand is still fucked to this day. I need to go and get it redone, rebroke, and reset again because it's just not working properly. And that's why you have to wrap your hands. That's exactly why you have to wrap your hands good, and you have to wear these gloves because there's no way you could fight. Say Golovkin can you imagine Golovkin and Canelo fighting a bare knuckle fight?
Oh, their faces would be destroyed.
Yeah, they'd be
and
done.
their hands would be totally broken.
Yeah,
exactly.
They cannot.
And it doesn't. That's when it doesn't become exciting.
The trick about punching bare knuckles is how you grip your hands, right? But think about doing that fluidly, like just all the time, having a tight grip on your hand the proper way. It's not gonna happen. You're gonna throw a punch where you kind of like let loose a little bit, and you're gonna break your fucking hand. This is what's gonna happen. Even if you hold it as tight as you can, right? Because if you hold it tight enough, right? It's like in other words, it acts like a bullet going through a fucking flesh. It's what it's supposed to act like. But even if you did, let's say if you did, you're gonna rip skin. You're gonna start ripping skin from your fucking hands, and it's gonna be all bloody and messy and shit.
Yeah, when I broke my hand, bro, I think I said about this last time, bro. I got in a fight at the bar, and fucking this was a while back yet, but I chased the cat out of the bar. He jumped in the car, and I tried punching his fucking window. I thought his window was rolled down. I was gonna snuff him through the window. And mind you, I never run around starting any fights or any of that bullshit. He, but he had it coming. But I went over there and just fucking Gennady Golovkin the window and broke. As soon as I did it, it was like fucking. I was like, motherfucker, As soon as I did it, I knew it was broken. You know what I mean?
See, when I broke my hand, right, because I'd been drinking, I'd obviously not driving, so, and where I was, it was like early hours in the morning sort of thing. I was got in a fight, right? And at the time, when it hurt, but you didn't think nothing of it. But then when the adrenaline set, fucking out the pain. Well, I actually, as I was walking, I was in agony. I saw this cafeteria, right? And I actually went in there, bought a breakfast. It cost me like £5. I said, look, I don't want the breakfast. I just want to, that's that £5. I just want to put my hand in your sink till my taxi gets here. I was like, the fucking hand was hurting that much. I bought a breakfast just so I could put my hand in the fucking sink. Because I didn't want to go and say, can I just put my hand in your sink? They told me to fuck off. So I bought a breakfast and left it there. Do you know what I mean? I was in agony and I've still got problems.
You just put your hands in the ice, right?
Yeah. With the cold water, I just ran the sink and put my hand in there until the taxi came. And then obviously I got...
Oh, fuck.
You got to remember, I was broke in 5 places.
Oh, yeah, that's bad, bro.
I still got, because I had 3 surgeries in my hand, bro. I still got a big ass knot, like, around the sign of my hand, around my pinky and ring finger and shit, bro. That's what I chuckled about Guillermo Rigondeaux. And bullshit.
One time I went to Mexico, maybe not Tijuana, actually Mexico. I went to the part of Mexico, and in a plaza, some guys were fighting, and the people get a big crowd, and these guys were.
Gonzalo, you're breaking up again.
Can you hear me? Oh, sorry. There's
man. I really want to hear Gonzalo too, man. It's bad. Gonzalo,
sorry.
Can you speak again?
Yeah, brother. You chopping up real good, brother.
Go ahead, Gonzalo.
Okay. There was going to the heart of Mexico, not Tijuana, but like in the inner.
Gonzalo, you might have to click off and come back on.
Yeah, reset your computer. Reset your computer. Or reset your wireless box, because that usually helps. If you kept your wireless, it's gone.
Yeah, do that. Yeah. You know, the worst injury I ever got, man. I think I've told this story on the show before. I punched a dude when I was working as a bouncer. I hit him with my knuckle in his teeth, and at the end of the fight, I was wondering why the fuck my knuckle was burning. It was burning. It had this burning, broken sensation, right? Like that's the only way I could describe it. I knew that I was losing a lot of blood. When I looked, man, his fucking tooth was underneath my knuckle.
On the skin.
Yeah, it was inside, bro.
I bet you had to. I bet you had to go. Hey, did you have to go and have a tetanus jab?
Yeah. I had to get everything.
You would do.
Yeah. I had to get that shot that day because it was disgusting looking the way my hand was looking, because it was in the skin, bro.
Yeah.
It was his fucking teeth, man. It was his goddamn teeth. And that's just a coincidence, right? Like, you just throw a punch and the guy happens to have his fucking mouth open.
Yeah. So this is the importance of wrapping your hands properly, and obviously picking the right gloves, and obviously having the technique. I think Wilder breaks his hands a lot because his technique's horrible. He's just got natural power, but because his technique's terrible, that's why if you see it, he catches. I mean, he just doesn't catch him properly sometimes.
Yeah, because obviously he's got gloves on. It shouldn't be breaking that much.
Right. Yeah, but because he's not actually catching them properly. He's catching them at weird angles, and it's breaking the hands. And you know,
a regular Joe on the street would be breaking their hands if they swung like Wilder.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying.
Oh hell yeah.
Yeah. They would be definitely breaking their hands, throwing at them funny kind of angles, bro. He, swinging all over the place, bro. They definitely be having some broken hands if they.
Yeah.
I
mean, Calzaghe. That why everyone called him the slapper is because Calzaghe was actually a puncher. He dropped Chris Eubank, who had one of the best chins in boxing at the time. So he was a good puncher. I mean, he stopped Omar Sheik, I think his name, who's a tough American. good puncher at the time, but he didn't wrap his hands properly. Kawasaki used to take his gloves off, and the wraps would be undone in his gloves, and that's why he used to break his hands a lot. And so it's really important to wrap the hands. You know?
And Eubanks was a tough motherfucker too.
Yeah,
but for sure, Eubanks was definitely a tough dude, man. Senior.
That's because I'm like I say that's like right around the time I started watching boxing, bro. Because I was born in '92, so like '97, '98 when I actually started being able to know what was going on and that kind of shit. So,
I suppose, yeah.
Eubanks
so any
strength,
any topics you guys want to get onto before the boxing starts?
I changed the internet. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Now I can hear you. Yeah. Now I can hear you.
Yeah. Hey, I wanted to ask them real quick to recognize.
Go ahead.
Hey, Stu, can I go back to the welterweights real quick?
Go on, then. Yeah.
When you were mentioning Luis Collazo and Brooklyn or Chicago, and it reminded me of whatever happened to Paul Spadafora.
Paul Spadafora got into a lot of legal trouble. He went to jail. Something happened to his wife or somebody close to him.
He shot his wife with shotgun, I think.
He shot his wife, right? Wait,
he shot her in the stomach, but I don't know if I don't think she died, but he just shot her in the stomach.
Is he the one that apparently schooled Floyd Mayweather in sparring?
Yes, he is.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah,
the video 3 round sparring.
Yeah, he whooped Floyd up in sparring, bro. He whooped his ass in sparring. That video's on the YouTube too, bro. He was giving Floyd the business, bro.
Hey guys, I'm gonna end the show now. Gotta go.
All right, gentlemen. It was a pleasure talking.
Okay.
All right, fellas. God bless. Nice talking to you.
Definitely, man. All of y'all. Peace.
Good evening.
Yeah.
Thanks,
All
Stu.
right, Bucho, Stu. God bless everybody.
All right. Later, guys.
Gonzalo.
Sorry about the internet. Yeah, later.
Later.
See you tomorrow for the post fight. So stay tuned for another show tomorrow. Take care, guys.
Salud, Bucho. Goodbye.